Welcome back to the class, children. The topic for today's class is dihybrid cross. Let us enter into the concept. What is the definition for dihybrid cross? Dihybrid cross is a cross between two genetically different parents of a species where the inheritance of two traits is considered. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the monohybrid cross, the test cross, the reciprocal crosses, all these things we have discussed. While studying about the monohybrid cross, I have told you monohybrid cross is the cross that deals with the transmission of only one character. Here in dihybrid cross, it is the cross that deals with the transmission of two traits at the same time. So in dihybrid cross, we study about the inheritance pattern of two traits simultaneously. So that is what we call it as dihybrid cross. Let us see the definition once again. Dihybrid cross is a cross between two genetically different parents. So the parents are not genetically similar, right? So they are contrast in their nature. They are genetically different, where the inheritance of two traits is considered. So two characters are studied simultaneously, not separately, same time, right? So always in dihybrid cross, two traits are considered and two traits are studied simultaneously. And dihybrid cross involves the inheritance of two genes, because we know traits are controlled by genes, right? So in dihybrid cross we are studying about the inheritance of two traits. So each trait is controlled by a single gene. So we study about the inheritance of two genes. And we know genes have alternate forms, what is called as alleles, a minimum of two alternate forms. So if we study two genes and each gene will have two alleles. So we study about the inheritance of two genes, that is four alleles, right? So that is what it is mentioned. It involves the inheritance of two genes, each having two alleles. And this is the definition for dihybrid cross. So what we have to keep in our mind is dihybrid cross always study the inheritance of two traits simultaneously, right? So I have told you two traits are studied in the dihybrid cross and two traits are controlled separately by two individual genes. In Mendel's dihybrid cross, Mendel selected two characters. One is seed shape, another one is seed color. And seed shape is controlled by a gene. I have mentioned it as gene 1 for easy understanding, right? So gene 1 controls the seed shape, right? Gene 1 controls the seed shape, and the seed shape which is controlled by the gene 1 has two forms. One allelic form gives the round seed shape, another allelic form gives the wrinkled seed shape, right? So another gene, the another character, the color of the seed, which is controlled by the second gene, and it also has two alternate forms. One is yellow colored seed, another one is green colored seed. So here the seed shape, regarding the seed shape, the round shape is considered as the dominant, right? So that is why it is mentioned as the uppercase alphabet, so capital R. So capital R represents the dominant nature. So round seed shape is dominant over the wrinkled one. So wrinkled one is indicated by the small r. So why you may raise the question like this. So why the letter small r is given instead of W, right? So for understanding, if it is given separately W, there may be a misunderstanding, or sometimes it may get confused. So always in genetics, the recessive, to indicate the recessive gene or to indicate the recessive allele, the lowercase alphabet of the dominant allele is given. So here the dominant allele is capital R, round shape. So it is denoted by the letter R. So the first letter of the word. So round, capital R. So the recessive form will be given as small r. That indicates wrinkle, right? So for easy understanding and for better understanding, it has been followed like that, right? So here the round shape is dominant over the wrinkled shape, and the round shape is indicated by capital R dominant, and the wrinkled is indicated by the small r recessive. Likewise, the second character what is considered by the Mendel in dihybrid process, seed color, which is controlled by the gene having two forms. One allelic form is yellow color, and yellow color is dominant over the another allelic form green. So yellow color is denoted by the capital letter Y because of its dominant nature, whereas green color is denoted by the small y, right? So these are the two genes which are considered by the Mendel for his dihybrid cross. Let us enter into the flow chart, right? So here observe this flow chart. So here the seed shape is round and the color of the seed is yellow. So round yellow, two characters are studied. That is why we call it as dihybrid cross. So at the same time, see, the genes or the traits are considered simultaneously, not separately, right? So in monohybrid cross, one by one it is studied, right? Whereas in dihybrid cross, both the characters, two characters are studied simultaneously. Here, round seed shape and yellow seed color. Likewise, wrinkled seed shape and green color of the seed, right? So it is denoted by the genotype of this one is, so capital R, capital R, capital Y, because homozygous condition. Since it is a pure breeding variety, it should be denoted as two capital R's and two capital Y's. Likewise, the homozygous recessive, the pure breeding variety, is denoted by the genotype small r, small y, right? So these are the pure breeding parental varieties, round yellow and wrinkled green. Round yellow is denoted by this genotype capital R, capital Y, and wrinkled gene is denoted by the alphabet small r, small y, right? And during the gamete formation, during the gamete formation, only one allele will enter into the gamete. So that is what we call it as law of segregation, right? So we will study in the next class law of segregation that indicates. So what does it mean? Law of segregation states the genes, the alleles will always be in pairs. If you notice here, these are the two alleles. Allelic pair is called as gene. So we have two alleles, right? This make up a gene. Capital R make up a gene, but has two alleles, capital R and small r. But during the gamete formation, only one allele enter into the gamete, right? So two alleles for round shape gives only one allele to its gamete. So one R comes here. Likewise, for yellow color, they have two alleles. One yellow allele is coming to the gamete. What happens to the next capital R and next capital Y? It also forms the separate gamete. So both the gametes going to be the same. So for understanding, for better understanding, to avoid the confusion, instead of writing all the capital R, capital Y, 2 or 4 gametes, it is simply mentioned as capital R, capital. Only one gamete is mentioned. So 4 gametes. So this if undergoes, so this plant during the gamete formation undergoes meiosis and forms four gametes, and all the 4 gametes will be similar in its genotype because it's a homozygous. So all the 4 gametes is going to be similar. So to avoid the confusion, only one gamete is mentioned. Likewise here also. So in both the gene, from both the alleles, only one allele enters into the gamete, small r. Likewise, in both the alleles, the small y, that is the green color, one allele enters into the gamete. So these are the 2 gamete forms. Capital R, capital Y is the gamete form, and small r, small y is the recessive gamete form, right? So the gametes will fuse together, and as a result, all the F1 progenies were yellow round as expected, right? So Mendel already know, right? Mendel already know, because in monohybrid cross, he performed the same experiment for a single trait, and in F1 he got the tall plants. Only one character was expressed. Likewise, here also only one character is expressed, that is round yellow is expressed and the wrinkled green is not expressed. So it denotes the character what is expressed in the first generation is what we call it as dominant character. That is why it is mentioned yellow round is a dominant, whereas the opposite is one wrinkled green is a recessive one, right? So as expected, all the F1 generations were round yellow and the round yellow. So here see the genotype totally differs from their parent. This is a heterozygous round yellow, whereas this is a homozygous round yellow. So here we have one capital R and one small r, and one capital Y and one small y. This is a heterozygous condition. So heterozygous round yellow, this is self-crossed. So when this heterozygous round yellow, during the gamete formation, it produces 4 different types of gametes. And this is what we call it as law of independent assortment, right? So that we discuss in the next chapter, right? So during the gamete formation, capital R, only one allele will enter into the gamete. And what does this independent assortment states that this capital R, that is one allele, does not depend upon any other allele during the gamete formation. They assort independently. They go with either capital Y or they go with either small y. So this capital R may go either with capital Y or small y. That is what mentioned here. So it has the probability may go either with capital Y or small y. So we get 2 forms of gametes, right? So one gamete will be having capital R, capital Y, whereas another gamete will be having capital R, small y. Likewise, this one, the second allele, small r also has all the possibilities to go either with capital Y or with small y. So small r, small y, one gamete will be formed, another small r, small y, another gamete will be formed. So we get 4 different types of gametes, right? So this is one parent father, that is one plant, and this is the gametes of the another plant. When these two were crossed, we get 16 plant types, and out of those 16 plant types, 9 plant types were round yellow, and 3 plant types were round green, and 3 plant types were wrinkled yellow, and only 1 plant type is wrinkled green. And this Punnett square clearly explains the different phenotypes and the different genotypes of the dihybrid cross. So here the parental varieties, if you look at this image, the parental variety is round yellow. The parental variety is round yellow. So in F2 generation also we received the round yellow. And another parental variety is wrinkled green. Here also we received the wrinkled green. But the non-parental combination, that is the recombinants, these two are recombinants. They are formed because of the mixing of the genes, right? So all these things cannot be explained by Mendel, right? While discussing about what is the reason for the Mendel's why Mendel cannot publications doesn't get exhibited, means because of all these things, because Mendel can't explain how these recombinants have come, right? So this is the parental variety round yellow, and this is also a parental variety wrinkled green, whereas the remaining 2 round green, this is purely recombinant. Likewise wrinkled yellow, this is also a recombinant. These 2 recombinants have occurred in the ratio 3:3, right? So that's how we get the ratio, phenotypic ratio 9:3:3:1. So look at the image, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 round yellow. Here we are considering only the phenotype, 9 round yellow. And 1, 2, 3. All these 3 are round green recombinants. Then 1, 2, 3. These 3 are recombinants but wrinkled yellow. And the last only one is wrinkled green. This is the pure breeding recessive, right? So regarding this phenotype, we received 4 different phenotypes. Out of those 4, 2 are parental varieties and 2 are recombinants. Here recombinants are the new thing to Mendel, right? So Mendel didn't express, or Mendel didn't expected this recombinant, but he received, right? So and based on this, proposed the law of independent assortment. So dihybrid cross, based on the results of the dihybrid cross, and the Mendelian law of independent assortment has been established, right? And this is the phenotypic ratio 9:3:3:1. Regarding the genotypic ratio, the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1:2:4:2:1:2:1. So if you look at this, so you can able to see only capital R, capital R, capital Y, this genotype will be only 1. Likewise, the homozygous recessive, pure breeding homozygous recessive also will be only 1, right? So whereas this number, this phenotype, this genotype, capital R, capital Y, small y, and capital R, capital Y, small y, these two, right? So that is what mentioned as 2, and here capital R, small y, only 1 will be there, and here we can able to see another 2 more different genotypes, and all these 4 will have a similar type of genotype. And this one is separate, and these two are similar, and these two are also similar, and this one is separate. So that makes up the ratio 1:2:1, 2:4:2, 1:2:1. So this is the genotypic ratio for Mendel's dihybrid cross, and 9:3:3:1 is the phenotypic ratio for dihybrid cross. So this is about the dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, we have studied the inheritance of two triads simultaneously, right? And the ratio is 9:3:3:1. The next is dihybrid test cross. So we know what is dihybrid cross, and also we know what is test cross. Test cross is the cross between the F1 hybrid with that of a recessive parent. Here, so this is the F1 hybrid, what we have obtained. Round yellow is the F1 hybrid, right? Round yellow is the F1 hybrid with the genotype capital R, capital Y, small y. So this is the genotype for F1, right? So this F1 is crossed with its recessive parent, the homozygous recessive parent, small y, that is wrinkled green. And so during the gamete formation, 4 different types of gametes will be found. I have already told you. So the gametes assort out independently. There is no compulsion. So any allele will pair up with any other allele, right? So capital R may have equal chance of going with capital Y as well as small y. So we get 2 different types of gametes. Likewise, small r has equal chance to go either with capital Y or small y. So we have 2 gametes, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. 4 different gametes are produced, and whereas wrinkled green, since it is a homozygote, it produces only one type of gamete. So when these were crossed, we get 4 different phenotypes. So in test cross, if the result gives the phenotypes in equal proportion, then the F1 hybrid is a heterozygous. So here, if you look at the phenotypic ratio, all the phenotypes occur in equal proportions, right? So 1/4, right? So this is round yellow, and this is round green, and this is wrinkled yellow, and this is wrinkled green, right? So all the phenotypes come in an equal ratio, right? 1/4 is round yellow, 1/4 is round green, 1/4 is wrinkled green yellow, and 1/4 is wrinkled green. So all the 4 different phenotypes has occurred in equal proportion. So that proves that the F1 hybrid is a heterozygous, right? So we know the objective of the test cross is to prove or is to identify whether the F1 is a heterozygous or homozygous. How we will prove? In the test cross, always the phenotypes must occur in a equal proportion. Here the proportion occurs equally. The ratio is 1:1:1:1, and thus proving that the F1 genotype is heterozygous, right? So and this is about the dihybrid test cross. Yes, children, in today's class we have discussed about dihybrid cross and dihybrid test cross. These can be the possible questions from the concept, right? So dihybrid cross itself can be asked as a 5-mark question, and test cross can be asked as a 2-mark or 3-mark question. Hope this session will be a useful one. Let us meet in the next episode. Thank you.